Y'all, there was so much to happen in this episode, y'all. Like this is turning out to be like one of the best seasons of American Horror Story, and we are only 3 episodes in. So much twists and turns. My mouth fell to the floor in so many occasions. We're gonna talk about it though. We're gonna talk about it.
What's going on YouTube?
Jamar,
What's going on YouTube?
Washington,
This is Jamar for here once again.
What's going on YouTube? This is your boy Jamar 4 here once again. Whoo! I love this show so much, and I'm so sad it only comes around once a year for only like 10 to 12 episodes. We're here to talk about American Horror Story Cult, episode 3. What is this called? Neighbors from Hell, which I couldn't be more accurate. Oh my god. This was so good. This episode was so good. If you are not watching this show, I behoove you. Because past seasons, people may not have been feeling past seasons, but you honestly have to give every season a chance. Okay? Because it could be good, it could be bad. I've been kind of feeling like, okay, I don't know how this is going to go. Because, you know, usually whenever we get like a really, really good season, which I felt last one was, there's usually a really bad one to kind of follow afterwards. But this one, I'm here for it all. I'm here for it all. So, we start off with this this lady who is talking about a phobia. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of the phobia because I'm just not going to do that. So she is, talking to this therapist about her phobia being like basically locked in closed spaces, and how her father used to lock her up when she was a child, and now she just has like this claustrophobic situation going on, and she's working through it and whatever. She's there with her husband, and they're, having their therapy session basically. So he sends her home, says that she's done all this great progress. They get home, they start, doing what adults do. And she tries, get unwind, take her heels off. And the guy says, he has a surprise for her. And he leaves and goes, upstairs to a different part of the house. She starts getting the wine and stuff ready until she starts hearing a noise. And she's like, whatever, I forget what she called it. She called out his name. I forget what his name was. She walks in and sees 2, coffins, okay, pinned up in their room with this smiley face clown, whatever, in the middle of the room. So she drops the glasses and she starts freaking out. She sees the clown. One clown that got her husband in a chokehold, or 2 of them have her husband in a chokehold. Then another clown grabs her from behind, and she's screaming and hollering because, of course, she just went to the doctor about having a phobia about being closed, in tight spaces. Like, that's scary to me, too, and I don't even have the phobia. It's just a scary situation. That's just like, well, shoot, maybe I do have the phobia. Because, let me go on a very quick tangent. For those of y'all who have seen Final Destination 3, I believe it was, if you remember, there was a scene in that movie where these two teenage girls went to a tanning booth. And because y'all know how Final Destination works, everybody just has to find a way to die through some interesting, unique way. And the way these girls died was that they got trapped in a tanning booth while it was on, and then it was set to then it got electrocuted and malfunctioned, and it got set to 100 degrees. So they're basically trapped in these tanning booths where the thing is heating up and basically shooting fire at this point, and they're locked in Not only are they locked in with on fire, they're naked. And they're just trapped and to burn to death. And it's just it's worse to already burn, but you're enclosed. And it's just, I can never watch that scene. I can never watch that scene again. So now this scene is secretly triggering for me in this episode because she has this phobia, and now she done seen her husband. They put him in the coffin and they basically drill it shut. They put her in the coffin. She's screaming and hollering, kicking all she can do, and they drill her in that coffin and they just leave him there. Just like, what is going on? What is going on? Oh, Lord have mercy, Jesus. I'm just like, well, they're dead. They're dead. Next, we move to, we remember last episode when Allie shot, Pedro, the Mexican employee that she had. Now, the news outlets are covering the story. They calling her a lesbian, George Zimmerman. There's protesters everywhere. So no justice, no peace for Pedro. They're looking at it like it's a hate crime. And I'm just like, oh, dang. Dang, dang, dang. And because of our... I can't even say the word. Because of the individual, there we go. The individual who is currently residing in the White House. You'll see there? I did it. I said it the best way. Because of that situation, it's going to be viewed totally different. I feel like years ago, this would still be a tragedy, but it would not be a politically charged tragedy. I don't feel, not in the way that it would be, not in the way that it is now. Because of all the things that he said about Mexicans and just anybody of Latin descent, and because he's a Caucasian person, people who aren't Caucasian, especially those in the minority groups, that whenever somebody who is Caucasian does something, especially shooting and killing somebody that is of Latin descent, it's going to be viewed as a hate crime. And it's unfortunate for Allie because we know Allie's not racist. We know Allie is not in that league of stupidity. But because she is a white woman, and because this is fresh off of the election of that thing, the racial divide, the whole climate is very, sensitive. So I can't even blame them, honestly, for how they feel just because they don't know. And they don't really care because they're sensitive, about what's going on in the climate. It's just like, dang, that's messed up. It's not even her fault, but she's going to take the blame for it just because it's all because of that man ruining people's lives. Lord have mercy. Anywho, amidst all of that, the guy with the crazy blue hair, I can never remember his name in the show, but Evan Peters' character is saying how proud he is of her for standing up for herself and how he's going to take care of the crowd. Okay. It's still creepy, but all right. So, next thing you know, the creepy neighbors, the gay man married to the cancer patient, come over to their house in sombreros, trying to say how disgusted they are with her because they felt like she was a hate crime. They're spewing that she's a white supremacist, and you say anybody you saw somebody even remotely black, brown in the dark, you assumed he was an intruder, and they just spewing all this stuff at her, and she's like, what? She's so confused. She's like, look, y'all ain't gonna sit here and try me on my property. I know that. But she was like, we don't accept racists in our neighborhood. She was like, our neighborhood? Y'all just moved in last week. What you mean our? She gonna say, she said we were here first. They gonna say, so tell that to the Native Americans. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. They really going there with the show. Like they are so on the border. They're just exposing everything and everybody. It's crazy. It's very interesting how well this is written. Cause y'all know, we don't even need to get into that. Y'all know. Anywho, so they're talking about the events that just happened with the neighbors and how crazy they are, and Winter comes in, and Allie is like, "What the hell is she doing here?" Because last I checked, I was sitting up here groveling and crying to you, begging you not to go when the power went out, and you said, screw you, I have a laptop and other electronics at my house that I need to protect, so you abandoned me. And she was like, look, I ain't really with that. And so she was like, oh, but it's not her fault. I called her over here because it's probably best that she wasn't there because there was a whole shooting, and she apologized or whatever. So they're like, okay, fine. All is forgiven, whatever. And then she's like, well, at first when I saw the man outside, I thought you got to, replace me. And they're like, what are you talking about? What man outside? He was like, oh, well, it was some guy outside that said he was responding to an ad. I hope you don't mind that I let him in. Man, see, Winter, if I wasn't going to fire you, I would have fired you then. Because first of all, you've abandoned me. You done exposed our son to all this other crazy stuff. Now you done let strange men in our house. You got to go. There has to be somebody else that they could have possibly. Nah. And if we'll get to that later. If they didn't fire her after letting the strange man in, they would have fired her for what happened at the end of the episode. Oh, I can't wait. Okay. So when they start running, trying to look for what strange man they're talking about, we see some big burly bear dude in their living room, completely naked, talking about, I'm gonna get ready, I'm gonna satisfy y'all tonight. I'm like, oh no, oh no, absolutely not. He's what's her name? Ivy got herself a good old sturdy lamp post or whatever that looked like. She was like, I'm gonna need you to get the out my house, okay? And he's like, look, I came over here to get my dick sucked. One of you guys is gonna suck it. I'm like, oh really? Well, we're about to beat you over the side of the head with this. That's what's gonna happen. Ain't nothing gonna be going down up in that region, so you better step on back. This man trying to walk up and run up on her, forcing somebody to suck his weenus. Ain't nobody got time for that. I was 100% with Ivy. I'm about to say, look, guess because you walk up and since you in my house, I can kill you for intruding. He gonna say he responded to an ad, calling them crazy. I'm like, what the hell's going on? They go on the computer and find that somebody put up some ad on Craigslist about two hot lesbians looking to get their guts filled or whatever. Like, don't call, don't text, just show up with a hard dick or something. I'm like, and with their address, I'm just like, ooh. I'm thinking it was either one of the angry protesters who just may have found her address, because that's not too far-fetched. But she's like, I feel like it's the people across the street because, they just came over here and threatened me, calling me a racist and all this other stuff. I'm like, oh, Lord have mercy. I mean, they would have your address. So it kind of makes sense a little bit. But I'm kind of like, it's not definite though. So then she calls the doctor and says that how she wants to go and talk to the protesters. Talk about how she's one of them. I'm like, are you stupid? Are you daft, woman? The therapist is on the other line like, that is literally the worst idea you can have. Because let me tell you something. When you have a crowd of people, especially now, honestly, with this political climate, when you have a crowd of protesters who have lost somebody close to them in their community, especially due to gun violence, they're not going to listen to, oh, I'm one of you, oh, I'm not this, I'm not that, just because it's not going to, from their perspective, it's just not going to come off that way. Even if it's true and you know it's an accident, they're not going to see it that way. So you try to just talk to them like they're just going to sit around and be like, oh, you know what? She said that she didn't mean it. It's okay. We forgive her. That's not how that works. They're just looking at, you killed a family man as a white person and they're a Mexican, and Donald Trump has said all these things about Mexicans and as a white person, so you as another white person must follow what he says. We know that that's not the case, but on the outside looking in, a lot of people are going to think that automatically, and it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. But yet again, Evan Peters' character comes in and clears the crowd away, and I'm just like, wait, did they just gonna leave because he said so? I'm confused. That threw me a little bit. His whole whatever he's doing is confusing to me. But they get home and they see Winter playing with Oz and a little guinea pig, and we're like, and he's like, what are you doing with this guinea pig? Like, you know, we're allergic to like pet dander or whatever. And Winter says, you know, it's not mine. Like, the neighbors from across the street are the ones who brought him over as a peace offering. Man, she called them neighbors and was like, look, I don't know who y'all think y'all are, you know, but y'all can't be giving my son random pets or whatever. And the guy on the other line was like, well, I mean, we don't really too much mess with you, but we like your son though. And she gonna say, let me get the phone. She's like, hey, I don't like you and I think you're racist, and just clicks off the phone. She's like, that bitch hung up on me. Now, was it just me, or did I think it was strange that the detective or whomever, that police, whomever was he the one sitting in their living room? Whatever, having that phone call, smiling and doing, I'm like, what's this about? You know, I was confused. I'm like, okay. That's strange. That's going to probably pop up again. I'm just saying. So the girls go out for ice cream with the son, and they laughing, they're having a good time or whatever. And at first she said that she couldn't, that he wasn't going to be allowed to keep the guinea pig. And he said, you know, I wish I could say goodbye to you. You know, something that you say in the heat of the moment when you're angry and emotional. Kids do it all the time. And so she says, well, you can keep it. I've had a change of heart or whatever. And, you know, he's happy and everybody's coming home. He's excited to tell the guinea pig he gets to stay or whatever. They get home and they see the symbol of the little clown smiley face, whatever that's supposed to be, on their front door. And then the boy runs in, they run in after him, and he sees Mr. Guinea Pig being cooked in the microwave, and it explodes in the microwave, y'all. Oh, that was horrible. That was messed up. That was almost too far. Like, Mr. Guinea Pig ain't do nothing to y'all. Like, because I used to have a hamster, and that just kind of made me feel really sad on the inside just now. And as I watched it, I'm like, that little guinea pig ain't do nothing. He was minding his own business, eating his carrots and his, you know, little seeds or whatever, and he gets pulled in the microwave and set ablaze and blown up. That's so messed up. That is so messed up. So now, she goes over to the neighbors pissed. Okay, she is pissed off. She runs over there and doesn't even say much. She breaks through the door. I think it was unlocked. And she goes in and she just wails on the husband one good time. and was like, I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care what you did about the ads. I secretly feel like I deserve some of that. But what y'all won't do, is mess with this one over here, the son over here, because look at him, he's petrified, this, that, and the fourth. And if you ever come near my family or anything like that again, I will kill you both. And Ivy is kind of looking like, kind of afraid of her, like, this bitch crazy. Like, you can't just go over there breaking into people's houses, threatening to kill them and stuff. Like, if they sue you, that's it. Y'all gonna lose everything. And as they walking out, I think Oz notices that the neighbors have the clown sign on their house too. And Ivy's like, should we warn them? Bitch. Ivy was like, man, fuck them. She could care less about these people right now because they done already came to her house starting some stuff, and she's already believed that they done blew up their son's hamster and stuff. So she's not featuring none of them right now. This is a great episode. It was a great episode. So they downstairs talking to the cop, telling them about all this happened with the hamster blowing up, how all this stuff is connected. I don't trust that cop for nothing because he just looks shady. I don't know what it is, if it's the gray hair, it's the eyes. But there's the fact that he was over there. I swear that was him over their house. I swear that was that same police car over at that house. Let me know if I'm wrong. I'm just saying. But he's over there talking to them about trying to get, information about what happened. And then they hear Oz scream. They run upstairs and he says, I put in the password for the parental password. I shouldn't have did it. And I was watching something, but I can't turn it off. And she's like, oh, well, let us see. You just got a virus. That's all. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm assuming that he was watching, maybe some kind of little dirty film like little boys do. And they opened the computer. And mind you, it was a dirty film, but it was a camera feed of when the wife was getting diddled, when Allie was getting diddled by the Skittle by Winter in the bathtub. And she was horrified. Both of them were horrified. First of all, because, of course, because this is the wife, she just realized that you're basically cheating on me with the babysitter. And I mean, she really can't deny it because she was. She was not under any, I don't know. Winter, I'm still haven't figured her out yet. She be talking like she be casting spells on people, so I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past her that she did some kind of shady stuff, but you were letting her finger you, girl. You were letting her finger you in the bathtub, so you can't. I mean, it is what it is. So Ivy runs out. Of course, she's mortified and hurt and heartbroken. She starts crying. Allie starts running after her. Man, Ivy turned around and gave her a whole swift whack. I was like, man, that was a hateful slap. Like that was passion behind that slap. I'm saying. So, and then she was just petty from then on. She was like, nope, not at all. We're not gonna do this. If you want some company, I'm taking Oz and we leaving. If you want some company. Now this was the ultimate petty thing that Ivy said. Now this was almost too far. Almost a little bit too far. Because she said, I'm not about to spend another night here with you. I'm trying to deal with you the most, but I just can't do it. And she said, if the sign and what the police say about the sign is true, then you'll have plenty of company tonight. I'm like, ooh. That's messed up, Ivy. That's you basically saying, I am welcoming the clowns to come and have their way with you, bitch. I'm like, that's messed up, though. So she called the son downstairs, trying to figure out what's going on. And she says, we're gonna go. Mama needs to stay here, and she has some thinking to do or whatever. And as they're about to leave, they see the police sirens outside, and they see the husband, the gay husband across the street, is screaming like, I don't know what happened. I have no idea what happened. I was asleep. You know, and all I knew was I just woke up and covered in blood and everything was sticky and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, whoa, Lord. Oh, you know what? I should have said this. I should have mentioned this earlier, but I didn't write it down. Was that the guy with the blue hair was having meetings with the couple, and the girl was talking about she was mad or scared that she would never have children and never be penetrated again by another man. And he was talking about how he used to blow his older sister's boyfriend back in the day. They were just sharing stuff with him, and it was kind of very creepy. And I'm just like, okay, what does this mean? What is he doing? Like, what's happening here? Then, I mean, I don't know if he did it. Did the clowns do it? Because they did have that sign. But he's just walking out there, the police, you know, then he sees her. It's like, it was her. She did it. She murdered her. Like, what did you do, you psychopath, or whatever? And she's like, you better get away from me, man. I'm still ready. I'm still ready. And the police tackle the man down to the ground and handcuff him or whatever. And then they looking around like, okay, well, where'd Oz go? Oz ran to their house and sees like the big clown sign, I think, and then all this blood and a sign of struggle and who knows what going on. And that's where the episode ends. I'm just like, oh, Lord have mercy, Jesus. I don't even know what to predict. I honestly don't even know what to predict because wow. I love this show. If y'all have not watched the show, I strongly recommend it. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I need to know. I need to talk about this to somebody. I hope, you know, I know Anita watches the show. I don't know if she's seen it. Hopefully what she does, she's seen it by the time I talk to her next. But if y'all, you know, watch American Horror Story, type down in the comments. Let's have a little chit chat on what you think or what you think is about to happen. Because, baby, I need to watch Much Love's review. I'm going to go do that. Make sure y'all like, comment, and share. You know, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate having you all here watching still. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Woo! Bye-bye.
Like, share, subscribe.
Washington, Washington.